I listen to mostly classical, rather than that hoppity and bebop stuff. Yeah, my name's Jerry Reiserer, and I'm 81 years old. I'm still lucky enough to be working and competing in the Masters track meet. So, getting ready to go to the National Seniors Olympics here in a month or two. Haven't got to work out much, but I never did train too much. So, been winning some national events and a pole vault and a decathlon, pentathlon, hop, step, jump. Can you throw that in there? Kids today are completely opposite from what we were growing up. We always had to work, every child had his own chores we had to do morning and night. And that kept us out of mischief, I guess. I guess the worst mischief we had was inviting city kids out to the farm and getting them lost in their haystack or in the tunnels we used to build in the baled hay that they couldn't find their way out, and we'd have to go in. When they start crying, we'd have to go in and pull them out. I've been asked a lot of times how long I've been drilling, and I'd have to tell them, I was probably 3 years old when my dad had me out there showing me how to do different things on the rig. I really didn't know what I was doing, but he'd tap me on the foot when I was supposed to do something, and some of them guys, farmers, I remember saying, "Hey, is that boy drilling?" And my dad said, "He sure is." I didn't know what I was doing, but I hit him up about that a few times. He never would own up to it. But the time I got up, starting high school, he'd started buying new rigs, and so we always had brand new equipment. And I always enjoyed going out with him and him showing me the different things they had to do around the drilling rig, and probably started thinking about the time I was halfway through college that that's what I wanted to do, be a well driller. So I kind of looked forward to getting out of college, and my dad was wanting me to start the business on my own, and that's what I wound up doing, taking it over. I was 11 years old when Pearl Harbor hit. I remember a teacher brought a radio, and we listened to Roosevelt's speech, and then she let out school, and we all went back home, and all the farmers were gathered together, and one of my older brothers and some of the farm boys there joined that day. Everybody was in quite an uproar, after all those 3,000 people killed, and probably the first time we were struck militarily. And I'll never forget what my dad said, and he probably didn't even know where Japan was at, but he said, "Boy, we'll get them guys." And from that moment on, everybody, all they thought about was working to get that war over with. And during those 4 or 5 years that we was in war with Japan, all the men teachers went to war, and if you wasn't fighting the war, you was working in a defense plant. I think I started liking antiques when I would be out with my dad, and he'd pull up alongside some barn and be drilling there, and farmers be hauling all their antique furniture out to store in the barn because they was beginning to get a little money and didn't want anything old in their house. Starting about 2 or 3 years after World War II was over, they'd be hauling out something carved, and I'd say, "Hey, what are you going to do with that?" And they said, "Oh, we don't want that. We want all new furniture." And I'd say, "Hey, I might have my dad drill you a few extra foot of hole for that." And he said, "Well, have your dad jump onto it." And so I was starting to collect stuff back then. And before I knew it, I was collecting about everything I could think of. That's what's bad about it. You get one or something, you stumble on the second one, and somebody gives you the third one, you're collecting something you don't even like. I don't know how to describe it, I just like something that somebody's put their heart into, that's handmade, that things that are lost art now, you just have to appreciate.